All right, we're doing another book review. This is one of my all-time favorites. I will say it right out of the gate. Cradle series by Will Wight, starting with Unsold, going all the way through 12 different books over the course of. Let me make sure I got this. So, tell me these aren't unordered. Where's 12? It's probably like 2024. So 2024, 2022 to the first book starting back when I was in high school. I bought this book, I believe, somewhere around maybe 2017, but I think I was on there right around like Soulsmith coming out. This is such a good series. It made it into Barnes and Noble. I could sing this book's praises for days, like the physical accomplishments, but I'm here to tell you why you should read this piece of literature. Outside of what these 21,000 people are probably saying, which is that it's a great book. So, why is this book so good? Why is it so addicting? And why did it take over essentially whenever it was available on Amazon? Why did it take over the bestseller list every time a book came out? I think Will White had that achievement pretty much onward from like book five. It was literally every book. This is a story, and I guess I'll click on Unsold, that starts with Lyndon. And he is an unsold and the only person in his family unable to pursue the sacred arts. This is a story intro, like, this is a hook you've probably seen millions of times. This is a hook everybody's seen millions of times. And I think this story starts out as a story that everyone's seen about a million times. This Unsold book one, Lyndon as a beginning character wasn't really much to write home about in my mind. It wasn't until you get to book two, you hit Soulsmith, that it even felt like we really got off the ground. I think Unsold is like an okay book, but it is almost crazy how the author is able to kind of grow from this point forward. I'd been enjoying Will White's stuff. I even went back and read House of Blades. I think around when I ran out of. It's probably around book four when I ran out of stuff to read. I was like, I'll see what this other guy's stuff is like. House of Blades was alright. I think I got to about the final book and I quit. I just didn't have it in me. But it was so interesting to see Will White grow as an author over the course of, I think, all of his previous series into ultimately Cradle in a way that I think is just beautifully done. This first book is by no means bad, but it is by no means, like, it just, it's insane to me that we came from here and got all the way to the end of this series. All of the major plot points, the little diversions to go, I'll just say it, I'm trying to keep the spoiler-ish free, but all of the diversions going into essentially space, we'll say, or outside of the world, and seeing Surreal's kind of battles there, leading all the way up to Lyndon's full kind of coming of everything. Great, just great job. So I've told you about Lyndon. He's a great character, but I think what sets this book apart is the supporting cast being extremely strong. In many stories, this is the case. You got like a really good one side character, or like the love interest is cool, or whatever. But this book the series just has so many great characters. I think Lyndon and Urine's relationship is very well done. No spoilers there, but I think it's so easy to do it wrong. The fact that Will White managed to lay it out, even if it wasn't like crazy, it was still, he had so many options to go for something cheesy, and he kind of held it together. And I think in a way that was treating Urine as a fair character. It's very easy for women in fantasy, I think, to get treated as like this, like a prop, and I don't think she fills that role in the very least. I think Ethan, which for the longest time I called him Ethan, it's a force of habit, I may even say it here. Ethan's character is very well done. His role is kind of this omnipotent teacher for Lyndon, the clueless one. I think it just fits so well. It's a story. I think the overall kind of trend in the story is that many of the arcs follow something you've seen before, something you've probably seen multiple times even, but the payoff is just so packs such a punch that it's just addicting. And Will White continues to deliver this book after book after book. All of the characters coming together in interesting fashion. You have Dross, which is arguably like one of the coolest characters, entering so late in the series. I guess Ghostwater isn't that late, but so so many characters. Mercy's a great character. I think Ethan's brother's a great character. There's just a lot of good characters. Even like Lyndon's like battles, his enemies become friends. Like complications there, complications there. All of it combines just to make such a great story, I think. And I could go on and on about this book, but the one thing that I can tell you is that Book 2, Soulsmith, out of the whole series, the series is great, but Book 2, Soulsmith contains one of my favorite moments, I think, in all of literature. Out of every book I've ever read since, I guess I didn't start reading until I was probably about the age of like 10 or 11 for real. I was reading like old school stuff. So it's been 15, 16 plus years of reading. Soulsmith contains one of my favorite moments of all time, and I would ask you, this is going to have a spoiler just because I want to talk about it. It's book 2, so it doesn't really matter, but spoiler warning for that. The moment when Lyndon continues to get bitten by the sand vipers and just Ethan keeps stabbing him with snakes and he keeps going and nodding, and Yaren realizes that he's not being tortured, but he wants to improve and grow before finally the final snake comes and it basically kills him, I think is just such a great scene. You can't achieve that in the nuttiest like shonen anime, the nuttiest anything. It's just such an all-time top tier moment in any book, and I would recommend the series to anybody. I think it's so good. It was so rewarding. It might have been something you had to be there for as it was coming out, but I think even in post, these books, I remember just waiting like at the edge of my seat for the next one to come out, and the second it would come out, I'd binge read it. I even reread the series once while I was waiting in a hospital one time with like it is just so good. I could probably pick it up now and reread it again. There's just so many little details. The characterization of all of the main characters is fantastic. This book is a 10 out of 10 in the modern day. I think anyone could enjoy it. It's progression fantasy at its core. It is just such a pleasure. This is just a great time. if you have not read this book, could not recommend it enough. You were missing out, and I'm still looking forward to what Will Wight does next. I have been slightly following his blog. I've kind of been a bum about it. I used to follow this way more. His new series has been, I think, good. I guess he's out to the Commandos, probably like book 4 of the new one. I just haven't gotten super into it. I probably could if I tried. Probably will one day, but at least for now, I can tell you about Cradle. You should read Cradle. 10 out of 10. Great series. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you think, and let me know how you doing. I hope you're doing great. All right. That's all. Adios.